Well, hello everyone, and a very good afternoon, and welcome to day one coverage of the 7th Hana Financial Group Championship, staged once again here at beautiful Bears Best Golf Club in the city of Cheongna. Bears Best, a collection of Jack Nicklaus's 27 best designed golf holes from around the world, all plopped down here in beautiful sunny South Korea. This is what your weather looks like for Thursday. It's a warm 25.5 degrees, partly cloudy, not too much humidity or precipitation in the air, which is good news after the deluge of rain that we had over the first couple of days. Practice rounds washed out, the course receiving a good amount of saturation, but it's sunny skies up ahead as the ladies contest this 1.5 billion Korean won prize purse, 270 million up top. Ma Da-som defends the title she won so spectacularly last year. We've never had a multiple-time winner of this championship. These are your featured groups this afternoon, and it certainly is a stacked field. Hong Yo-min off with the Go sisters. Ji-won and Ji-yu, both winners on the KLPGA Tour. Hong Jung-min, who set the new 72-hole scoring record on the KLPGA Tour a couple of months back. And then just behind her, Park Hyun-kyung, the reigning Korean Women's Open champion, Lee Dong-eun, and the three-time major champion, Australia's Min-ji Lee. Just behind them, Yoo Hyun-joo currently tops the points list for Roh Seung-hui, who tops the money list, crossing the 1 billion Korean won mark this season. They're off with EA1, who has struggled to find a game since the return from the summer break. And then that is your final group of the day, the defending champion, Ma Da-som, last week's winner, Bang Shin-sil, who's the only player to have won 3 events this season on tour. They, of course, have Lydia Ko, reigning Olympic gold medalist and World Golf Hall of Famer for company. Should be another cracking day here at this ever-popular event. Park Bo-kyum has a victory on tour as well. She's 1 under par, and as you can see by that mini leaderboard on the right-hand side of your screen, scoring's been tricky in this opening round. It's certainly showing its teeth early doors, again with that saturation with all the rain we had over the last couple of days. You don't see too much run out in these fairways, and it is a brutally long golf course for these ladies. G1 playing with her sister in the opening round here. We will redraw according to scores after day one, so no guarantee the pair of them will be teeing it up next to each other for Friday. This looks like Kim Min-sun 7. Maybe a second shot into the par 4 10th. 2 over par. 2 victories on the KLPGA Tour. One of them coming as an amateur. The Mixed Championship a couple of years ago, got her first professional title at the inaugural Dukshin EPC Championship earlier on this season. Go up to Park Ji-young on the 12, still looking for that first victory of 2025. 10-time titleist on tour. Nicely played pitch shot there for Park, who's really turned into a world-class player over the last couple of seasons. Only bested by EA1 last year. Ji-yu. Sister. She's a 3-time winner on tour. Picked up that 3rd victory at the Ko Mona Park Ladies Open back at the end of June. Currently being outscored by little sis as things stand. Looks like the pre-shot routine of one Lee So-young, who's just coming towards the end of her opening round, starting the day on the 10th. There's her approach into the 9th, and it's a pretty handy one for a player who has struggled to replicate the form that saw her clinch 6 victories before the COVID pandemic put a halt to things back in 2020. putt for Idayan. Going to come up a little spine, so fairly slow to start. That should flatten out around the hole. Good speed from the 2023 champion. That was an epic playoff with the likes of Paddy Tavatanakid and Minjee Lee. It's been a real struggle over the last few years for Hana Jang. Point reach 5th in the official World Golf Rankings. 1 point. He's the all-time money leader on the Korean Tour. She's only made 1 cut this year, and it's unlikely to improve this week. And here's one of your 2 co-leaders, Junyu Ri, who's playing alongside Lee So-young. He's always seemed to be one of those players that towards the end of the season you find her right around that top 60 bubble as players try to lock up their cards for next season. A solid week here at Bears Best in Cheongna. She wouldn't have to worry about that for a while. Not her best, but she'll have an opportunity for birdie. And this is one of those strange things about this championship. The fact that the organizers, for the last 6 editions, and no different in 2025, insist on having all players tee off in a single session off split tees. Now what that does when you've got a 140 player field is inevitably you're going to run into groups who are teeing off on the other side of the golf course. So you take the group of Park Hyun-kyung, Lee Dong-eun and Minjee Lee, for example. They started their opening rounds at 10:33 local time. That's just about 4 hours ago, and they've had to wait a good hour and a half, almost 2 hours from completing their 9th hole to teeing off on 10. It truly is a bizarre thing as Shin Dae-in rolls in a lovely birdie putt there on the 13th to end her string of pars. Moves her up into a share of 3rd. And what that unfortunate delay also means is you've got momentum, you've got a bit of good rhythm going on, and you're forced to sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yes, you have a spot of lunch, but your body gets cold again, and you always have to warm up. It's like playing 2 separate rounds of golf in the same day. But ladies who have come here for a number of years, they know it's probably not the most ideal arrangement, but they've come to expect it. Lee Dong-eun, the reigning Korea Women's Open champion, level par through 9 and safely down the left-hand side of the fairway there at 10. So that very nicely played approach for Park Bo-kyum, just to tie the lead at 2 under. Still plenty of golf to play. Yeah, nice conversion for Bo-kyum. Very tidy day. Bogey free, 2nd birdie in 3 holes. Takes her to the top of the pile, 2 under. Now the returning Minjee Lee just missed about a 2.5 footer for par back at 9. Again, having said that, was about an hour and a half ago. 29-year-old picking up her 3rd major title at the Women's PGA Championship back in June. 3-stroke margin of victory over Austin Kim and Shanate Wonseon. She's come close to this championship in a number of years. Lost in a playoff to Song Ga-eun in 2021. Lost in a playoff to Lee Dae-yeon in 2023. Is 2025 going to be the year for the Aussie? Looks like a fairly thick lie for Go Ji-won, up ahead at 11. Got through it pretty nice. All things considered, that's fine. Safely on the green. Kyo Song. Excellent pitch there from the Teen Titan, who won one of the JLPGA Tour majors last season. What a victory that was for the youngster. GU wide off the tee, but kept it out of the weeds. It'll be tough to access this front left hole location. You can see the problem there. The greens really are firming up quite nicely despite all the moisture that they received in the early stages of the week. Now Hana. Not an easy up and down. This big ridge. Once she gets onto the green, the bunker's pretty deep as well. She's well below the surface. Got to toss this one out right, try and ride that slope. Anything within 6 feet is an excellent shot from here. That's pretty good. Across to the 9th and Junyuri. Perhaps a little misread, but good pace should lock up par 5 for her, excuse me. And that would be the current clubhouse lead. 2 under par 70. Nice day's work for Junyuri. Only bogey going back on the 6th. Solid foundation in which to build the rest of her charge this week in Cheongna. Just out of the right rough at the 10th is Park Hyun Kyung. Again, coming from that rough really limits your options to try and get close to that left-hand hole location. Generates plenty of club hit speed. Kim Min Sun 7. It's great width as well. Look at the big shoulder turn. The separation she can create between upper and lower body. It's a lot of torque and therefore a lot of power. She's pretty darn accurate too. That is down the narrowest portion of the 11th fairway. That seemed to come off the club face a little weird, a little low and right, but it sort of works out. I don't think she got all of it, but it's going to be fine. Now this on 11, cross-country putt for Go Ji-won. Needs to keep trucking, needs to keep going. It's going to be a bit of a tester. Such a relief when she claimed victory on the island of Jeju at the start of August to join her sister in the winner's circle. Lee So-young, she paying attention with the putt of Junyuri. It's a similar line. Yuri's tried to move left. Just catches the left lip and topples in for Lee So-young. Bookend birdies. I think at the end of the day, 73. She'll be mildly disappointed, but the tournament's off and running. Lee Dong-eun, another player like Kim Min Sun 7, who possesses power in buckets. Brilliant victory at Rainbow Hills to claim her first domestic major. Would have looked good in the air, straight over the top of the flagstick for the 21-year-old. Hyun Kyung. It's day one action here at Bears Best, and it's a three-way tie between Park Bo-kyom, Koo Rae-hyun, and Jun Yu-ri, who's already safely in the clubhouse with an opening round of 70. G1 for her par at 11. Top 10 finish last week in Incheon at the OK Savings Bank OK Man Open. Oh, well, statistically, you'd have to say it was always going to be more likely a 3-putt than a 2-putt from where that second shot ended up. So she'll slip back to 1 over par. You can see it's awfully blustery out and around the golf course as we have our first look of the week at the 14th tee in your co-leader Park Bo-kyom. Oof. Scared the cup there. Keeping a foot on the gas pedal, and should someone make a hole-in-one here on 14, they're going to be taking away a beautiful mattress and bed set, which is worth over 100 million Korean won. 140 million, I should say. That's 100,000 US dollars. Is any bid worth 100,000 US dollars? Well, you be the judge of that. Now, Diane, who also birdied the 13th, has got a similar club. She'd love a similar result. A couple of moments ago from the right edge of the green. Got to keep it high on this slope as it rides its way down towards the hole. Should be moving left. Back on the tee, EA1. 9 professional victories since turning professional in 2021. Topped the points list and money list in each of the last 2 seasons. Has not missed a cut this year. Picture of consistency, but hasn't won since the match play in May. To the broomstick putter this year, Min-jae Lee. It's been a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. See if she can wield it well here on 10. Not quite. Born and raised in Perth, Western Australia, alongside younger brother Min Woo Lee, who plies his trade on the PGA and DP World Tours. Vincent only with a 9-iron in on 11, coming out of the fairway, should get some height and spin on this. Donghan looking well out to the right for her birdie putt at 10. And a hugely impressive sophomore season on the KLPGA turf at Idongan. So he missed 3 cuts this year. Runner-up last week to Bang Shin Sil at Club 72. Of course, that Korea Women's Open title in June. Shindayan just off the green at 14 can land this about a yard or 2 past the fringe on a downslope, and it should funnel down to the cup. Something just like that. Well played. It's day 1 of the Hana Financial Group Championship, and at present, it's a 3-way tie for the lead between Junyu Ri, Koo Rae-hyun, and Park Bo-kyum. But Bo-kyum with an excellent opportunity to take the lead all by herself after an excellent tee shot at the 14th. Speaking of that putt, here it is. Not much movement in it. This to take the outright lead. Beautifully holed for Park Bo-kyum. She's really hit a nice little purple patch to start this back 9th. 3rd birdie since making the turn. Gets it to 3 under. As we said, Choi Yerim, you can see her name on the bottom right of your leaderboard there. She had it to 3 under before back-to-back bogeys to end her round. And there is the lady that many have come to see this week, Lydia Ko, who has stood on every step of the podium at the Olympic Games. Bronze and silver in Rio and Japan. And of course that gold medal in Paris. She'll be ready to start her back 9 very shortly. But first, look at that claustrophobic tee shot that the players face on this par 4 11th. Water down the right, the bunker that is definitely in play for the ladies on the left. And with today's front left hole location, absolutely must be coming out of the fairway. Of course, every birdie made throughout the course of the week will be a donation to this week's charity, and also matched by the Hana Financial Group. So a fantastic incentive for players to try to find some red numbers on the 11th. Easier said than done with this opening round, though, with that whole location. Year 1. Sounding strike on that. Pretty good distance control as well. Just skips through a little, but all in all pretty solid. Works a lot on her thoracic rotation. The physiotherapist and Coach Ryan Lumsden try to stay more centered on top of the ball, really rotate the body hard around her spine. That's the reason why she's one of the best iron players in the world. ENG. To the lady that bested her 2 years ago, Lee Dae-yeon. It's Good scoring opportunity if you find this fairway on 13. Water short, but you're only coming in with a pitching wedge or a gap wedge. Case in point, right there, Idayon. Ooh, it tried. But nothing gets galleries in Asia more excited than a little bit of backspin. Yep. She's going to take it to 2 under par momentarily. Go back to 11, and Kim Min Sun 7 for her birdie. Got it tracking, and it drops. Beautifully holed for Kim Min Sun 7, and that'll be a nice little check hitting the way of a charity at the end of the week. Good birdie there after a torrid start. She's just starting to get her feet under her again. Ayon can just go ahead and tap that one in. Join Yuri and Rei Hyun at 2 under par. It's not a major championship on the KLPGA Tour schedule, Hana Financial Group Championship, but it's certainly a coveted title that every single player here in South Korea would like to win. And it's an excellent time of the year to be finding some form. Big prize money events still coming up. Next week, tour heads over to the Blue Heron Golf Club for the Height Jinro Championship, one of the majors on the KLPGA Tour. He's a two-time winner of the KLPGA Championship. That's a mistake, coming up short-sided in that bunker. Rough day, getting even rougher for the player known as Cutiful. Right, to the 10th. Lydia Ko, finally ready to start her back nine. She's at 1 over par. On the HSBC Women's World Championship in sunny Singapore at the start of the season. Got her gold medal at the Paris Olympics, and that she is now racked up the necessary number of points to be inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame. She said that was one of the greatest achievements of her golfing career. Shinsil, like Lydia, wrong side of par at the moment. And for Mada Som, it's been a bit of a strange year. It came very close to winning the next Sensate 9 Masters back in April. Runner-up there to Shinsil. She has 5 top 10s. It just lacked a little consistency. 27th on the money list. How she blew the field away 12 months ago with some excellent scoring. She will have a lot of work to do if she wants a repeat of that feat. She starts her back 9 at 3 over par. Ahead on 11, Minji. Should be a fairly comfortable wedge from this yardage. Dion. Downhill for birdie on 40. Dion. Just a wedge left in. Couple of yards closer than Minji. A couple of feet closer on the green. Excellent shot from Lee Dong-eun. So your championship leader, Bo Kiom, at the usually reachable R5 15th. The longer hitters anyway. Bo Kiom electing to play it as a 3-shotter. Don't think she caught that one quite sweetly. Expected a bit of grab with that first or second bounce, and instead just sort of ping-pong forward. But still, she leads in the opening round of the 7th Hana Financial Group Championship. Lydia Ko ready to play her second shot into the par 4 10th. You can see that pin tucked over that cavernous bunker on the left-hand side. 1 over par for the ever-popular Ko. Started that at the flag, trying to cut this one up towards the middle of the green. No, just didn't quite get all of it. Minji ahead on 11 with an outside look for birdie. She too 1 over for her opening round. It's tracking nicely, just falls off low for Lee. See the ball just sat down for Bang Shin Sil in that right-hand rough. No choice, had to hoist that one high up into the air and hope for a soft bounce. And all things considered, she's done very nicely. Dongan after a really nice approach into 11. Got that tracking, but just started a little low perhaps. Even par, nothing to sniff at. Keeps players just outside the top 10 at the moment. Down to the 15th. And Shin Dae-in got it awfully close to the front edge of the green in 2. Pretty simple little pitch shot, you have to say. Carried about a third of the way and then have it run out the rest. Very good touch from Shin Dae-in. He's got some good mojo in this group. Park Bo-kyum going along well. Dae-in, I think he's going to pop that one in to get to 2 under. Par 3 16th, and Han Jin-sun from a different zip code. It's outside of 60 feet, but it is for birdie. The queen of high 1cc. How about it? Oh, Han Jin-sun from way downtown finds a bonus birdie there at the par 3. Importantly, stops the rod after back-to-back drop shots. Very strange little shot that Bo-kyum had from only 70 meters. This is by no means an elementary up and down. Fire it into the slope, just checked up a little quick. Bo-kyum is going to be putting for par first before Shin Dae-in putts for birdie in the same group. He's always been such a good bunker player, Lydia Ko. Uses the bounce so nicely. Just look at that elevation she can create. It's a long, sort of lazy swing, and she plays that with to perfection. Now Bo-kyum for a par. Snaps hard from left to right, so you've got to keep your pace up with this one. And from the middle of the fairway, at the par 5 15th, Park Bo-kyum is going to make a bogey. Drop back into a share of the lead at 2 under. Let's go back to 10 and bang for birdie. A little downhill, so you've got to respect the pace of this putt. Park Hye-jin alongside Dae-in and Bo-kyum. Okay, all 3 players in this group under par for their opening rounds. Solid stuff from Park Hye-jin. Opens her account with a birdie there. Dong-eun has reached the pretty long par 4 12th. Straight and narrow. So 3 tied for the lead, moments away from having it be 4 players. So a quartet at 2 under par. Shin Dae-in sees her name alongside the likes of Yuri Bokyom and Daeon. It's safe to assume that Lydia Ko did manage to roll in her par putt without any incident, so she still has the honor on the 11th tee. The longest hit at Lid, so you can aim it at that left-hand trap, just hit a little sliding cut off it. Start at the bunker, just didn't cut. Quick reach for the tee, usually a sign of a well-struck tee shot. And that's right down the center stripe for Min-ji Lee. Well, said in her pre-tournament press conference that the secret to tackling this golf course was finding fairways. Allows you to be more aggressive into some of these hole locations. Hasn't driven it particularly well today, Bang Shin-sil. That's another fairway missed. So Daeon finds herself in a familiar position here at Bears Best in a tie for the lead at the Hana Financial Group's Championship. Third shot on the way into 15. That one grabs nicely, just keeping it on that little shelf. She's going to have a really good look at birdie to come. Shin Dae-in. 16th tee with that flag cut on the left-hand side of the green. Ample room out right. Don't need to go flag hunting on Thursday afternoon. Solidly done. Good smart play from Dae-in. Park Ji-young is very proficient with these clubs in hand. A shallow angle of attack, controls the distance and spin nicely. Hye-jin, fresh off that birdie, trying to bend one into this left pin. Ooh, even better than Shin Dae-in's. That was brave. That was very good. leads the KLPGA Tour in distance off the tee, averages right around 260 yards, which is a fair poke for Lee Dong-eun. She's not the biggest lady on tour, but make no mistake, she can generate tons of speed. Got 6 iron here. Starting it well left, trying to bleed one into this pin. Okay, airs on the side of caution and more importantly keeps it on the correct level of the green. Lee Daeon for the outright lead on 15. Slow putt coming up the hill, so can give this one a good smack. Oh, right on cue. Lee Daeon to the top of the leaderboard. It's a 4th birdie of the day. She's in no mood to just hang about today, taking advantage of some very solid play. Back to Minji on 11th. Both her playing partners safely on the upper level of the green, albeit good 50 feet away from the pin. How brave can Minji be with the breeze coming off the right? Well, she too just erring on the side of caution here at 12. Jihan Sol has been on the struggle bus today at 2 over, but can make things a little better if she can follow Daeon in. Yeah, and she will. There's an old adage in golf: you can't win a championship on Thursday, but you can certainly play yourself out of it. And so, just keep in touch with the leaders with that birdie. Now Shin Sil. Didn't look like a particularly good lie, gripping well down on that 8 iron. See, that's the problem. You come out of the rough, you can't generate as much spin, and as a result, you leave yourself with 50, 60 foot putts for birdie. You know how much this putt moves from left to right. Oof. Just a little pacey on the high line for Ji Young. Squanders a great chance to take it into red figures. Lydia, a great tactician, so she knows this is not a flag you want to go for coming out of the rough, particularly the left-hand rough. So cut a little long. Give yourself a putt of about 30 feet. She's done that. Yeah, good smart shot from the Kiwi. be wary of the little shoulder about at the midpoint of this putt. It'll be working its way up that. It'll gather pace on the far side of it. Should start to speed up from there for Shinsil. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of a nervy one. You're looking at the 12th green and the group of Park and Kyung, Lee Dong-eun, and twice runner-up at this championship, Min-ji Lee, who has this for birdie. Always found it very awkward and a bit clunky to try and wield a long putter from outside of 30, 40 feet. Takes a lot of practice and getting used to. And Shin Dae-in at 16 for birdie. Oh, had it tracking. Good effort. Lydia Ko, a birdie opportunity back at the 11th. Needs to start moving right from there. Yeah, good speed though from Lids. Can't expect too much from that range. Every time I see Lydia Ko on TV, I wonder how many tees can she actually stick in her hair. It's a unique look. Imagine be quite distracting at some point. Anyway, Dong-eun fast to go for her birdie at 12. So it looks to be hit with a little bit more authority than her two playing partners. Still comes up a little shy. It's a tough hole, the 12. Not going to be complaining when you walk off with a 4, particularly with the hole on that back shelf as it is today. Bokyeon has just dropped a shot on 15. He's going to drop at least another on 16. That's how quickly things can change at Bears Best. Shinsil for par. These are the putts that can give her some issue every now and again. Yeah, not on this occasion. That's nicely holed for Bang. So back-to-back birdies, perhaps, for Park Hye-jun. Oh yes, why not? The long putter has its issues from long range. It's pretty effective from here, as Min-ji Lee nicely demonstrates for that par putt. Tournament leaders made her way to the 16th tee. Dae-on likes to move it from right to left, so this is a good pin for her. They started too far left though. Ooh. We saw it bounce. It looked to pitch on the high side of that line. I don't think it's gone all the way back into the penalty area. Maybe a little greedy there for Dae-on. That's what the players see when they make their way up to the 12th. Just a long, brutal hole. Keep it straight off the tee and make sure you find the correct level of the green with your second shot. As I said earlier, 4, not a bad score on this hole. And as she did over the last 2 holes, Lydia Ko will lead this group off. So we know she'd give this one a mighty rip, but there's some well-placed bunkers up there which she has to avoid. So Yun Jung. Final hole of the day. Is it the final stroke of the day? It is. Nice closing birdie for So. Around 71. A lady who has won at this venue before at the Lotte Open. No need for the driver on the 13th. You find the fairway, you've only got a wedge in hand. Pin on the green, Kim Min Sun 7 gets it back to even par with that nice birdie. Just with how hard Bear's Best is playing this afternoon, you're not getting lapped if you're at even par. Still very much in the mix as we're back from Minji's tee shot, also going with what looks like a hybrid club. Stay out of the penalty area, but not quite sure what that lie's like. I just had to take a big lash at it and hope for the best. Still has a chance to stay par die on. Dion in danger of dropping a shot, but it's a tightly packed leaderboard through the early stages of this year's Hana Financial Group Championship. After a bit of a misguided tee shot, Idayon, par putt from just inside the 10 feet to try and keep her lead at 3 under par. Oh, well holed. That's the kind of golf that we see her play on occasion. Her battles with injury throughout her career has been well noted, but when she is fighting fit, she's a gritty competitor that doesn't make too many mistakes. And even when she does, she seems to emerge unscathed more often than not. Now, the penalty area short shouldn't come into play. All these ladies, such great control with their short irons and wedges. Not her best, but still a decent opportunity for Minji. Back on the 12th, Lydia. She's got that hybrid. She's got that shot that not many of the professional golfers and on the KLPGA Tour has. Really good with these clubs and playing all manner of shape with them. Requires a sort of high, soft cut. Try and hold it on that back plateau. Had the line, just didn't quite make it up the slope. Not bad though. Tough shot when you see that wind whipping as hard as it is coming off the right. Back to 13. Imagine she'll get a good amount of spin on this, Idongan. Just a gap wedge, can throw it a little bit left of the pin, try and work it off the slope. Just a little too far left. Maybe the strike wasn't quite as solid as she would have liked. Shinsil only needs an iron into this green. Doesn't really have that hold-up cut shot that Lydia just tried to play. She's just going to look out towards the right edge of the green, trying to have the breeze push it back. Is it going to stay up? Just. Okay, nicely done from Bang Shinsil. Now up to the home hole and the 19-time KLPGA Tour winner, Park Min-ji, who's at 1 over par. Just a tough lead from that front track, no option but to try and go out long. Just a fantastic weekend for Kim Min-sol. Back at the BC Card Hankyong Ladies Cup, winning in dramatic fashion with an eagle on the 72nd hole to pip Idayon to the crown. Hasn't been too much going her way today, although that birdie should cheer Kim up a little bit. Currently tops the secondary tour money list in Korea. Dream Tour, doesn't have to worry about her exemption status on the KLPGA Tour. She's got 2 years more on her card after that victory at Fortune Hills. Just a gentle downhiller on 13 for Lee Dong-eun's birdie. I would have expected a better look, having only had wedge in her hand. This 13th hole, one of the rare scoring opportunities on this inward 9. always does a good job fulfilling her commitments to her sponsor, the Hana Financial Group, coming back to contest this Hana Financial Group Championship year in, year out. Minji, you know she'd dearly love to win it one time. But that club is going to have to behave for her. But she missed a tiny putt 2 years ago. I believe it was on the second extra hole against Idayon to win the title. Now, Lydia, it's one of those putts that you have to hit firmly enough because you're coming up that relatively steep slope, and sometimes you tend to overhit it because it plateaus and flattens out once you get onto that back shelf. Yeah, judge the pace nicely there, Lids. Yeah, good 2-putt par. Had the great pleasure of hosting a private event for Boss Golf with Lydia at the start of the year, and I can absolutely say what a true pleasure she is to be around. Took lots of questions from the invited guests that evening. Certainly earned a couple of more fans. Tremendously popular player who has done so much for the growth of the game around the world. Dongan should tap in for her par without too much difficulty at 13. It's been steady stuff from the Korea Women's Open champion this Thursday. Shinsil for a rare birdie at 12. Took a couple of wobbles. Maybe that just took the speed that putt needed off it. So G for the par on the last. It was a healthy amount from right to left. It's going to be the perfect marriage of pace and line. Very nicely holed. Good up and down to close out for Minji. 73 to start. She heads off to try and pick up career title number 20. Already has the most of any player in KLPGA Tour history. But none since the Sultreon Queen's Cup last year. Jin at the par 5 17th, just lets that one slide a couple of feet past. It's the shortest par 4 on the back 9 this 13th hole. You can see the penalty area up ahead. Absolutely no need for players to be hitting driver. Let's just hang back in the fairway, try and give yourself a good number in for a wedge shot. So Dion's lead, one shot over Junyu Ri, who's already scribbled her name next to a 70. Park Hye-jin and Shin Dae-in. Yu Hyun-ju, winner of the KB Financial Group Star Championship a fortnight ago. First player to successfully defend the KLPGA Tour Major since Park Hyun-kyung went back-to-back at the KLPGA Championship in 2021 and 2022. She'll have a birdie opportunity to come. Currently tops the points list on the KLPGA Tour, does Yu Hyun-ju. And some middle-of-the-pack finishes for EA1 has now left her in 4th on a list that she topped so dominantly through the first half of the year. Still a lot of money and points up for grabs in the closing stages of this season. That's really been a microcosm of how she's played over the last couple of weeks. It's nothing disastrous. She hasn't missed a cut all year. She just hasn't been giving herself better opportunities, better looks at birdies, better chances to put a run together on Championship Sunday. Endless, infuriating nature of golf, even more so at a professional level. Now to the par 3 14th with its front hole location. Lee Dong-un on the tee. We've seen that this breeze should be coming a little off the right, although the flag hanging fairly limp on the flagstick down at the green, so maybe a good opportunity to just be a little bit more aggressive with this. It's an elevated tee, 159 meters, and Dong-un's got 7 iron. Looked a little quick there, spun out of it. It doesn't pay too steep of a price, just short of the green, not a hard up and down from there. These are the opportunities where world-class players like Lydia Ko and Minjee Lee can just separate themselves a little. Can we take advantage of par 3s? It's a little pulled. That's not her best. There's a little gap forming between this group and the penultimate one up ahead on the green. Lydia got driver here. It's going to have to be a fairly soft one for the New Zealander. That water comes in about 90 or 80 yards from the green. And she's leaked this one out right. He's going to catch a piece of the fairway. Just about. To what looks like the 18th hole. A slightly wide tee shot from Sung Yoo Jin, who's at even par for her day. Yeah, did the right thing, did not want to be in that bunker short. But keeps it out of the bunker long. So work to be done for Sung. This is a more conventional club selection. See a lot more players employing that 3-wood or the hybrid off the tee at 13. Hyun Kyung, who has had her struggles today, 4 over par as she plays the tee shot into 14. And that's more like it. She's going to need that and a couple more. Not the best of layups to be in this left-hand rough on 17. Holes cut on the right corner of the green on a little shelf. So hard to get this one close. did the right thing, just playing out towards that middle level of the green. Take her chances with a 2-putt from there. You can see she's on a very severe upslope, and from those rehearsals, just trying to drop the club onto the back of the ball with no follow through. Just have it pop up high and run out. It came out a little slower than she would have liked, but it'll catch the slope and try to inch its way closer to the hole. It's a pretty simple little chip in the front of 14. Just play a little pop and run. But it's one of those times where you know it's holeable, so sometimes you get a little greedy and then you end up having a bit of an uncomfortable one coming back for par. Tackle that well, Donghan. Hyunju. Pretty straight putt from this angle. And gets it to go. There's a dominant defensive for title at Blackstone in Incheon at the Star Championship. One of the hardest tests the players face all year, and she won it comfortably. Minji does have to worry about this one getting away from her. This is slightly uphill from this angle. So as long as the lie's okay, this isn't going to be overly complicated. To the last, and Eugene for a par at 72. Yeah, very nicely holed. Another player who has experienced winning here at the Lotte Championship, contested on the LPGA Tour for a couple of seasons before losing her card. Now back full-time on the KLPGA Tour. A week will start off with an even par round. Hyun-Kyung will do well to get back to even par. This would help. It's a birdie putt on 14. Just in on the high side. Nicely read and well holed for Park Hyun-Kyung. Fighting hard in this opening round. A bit loose with that tee shot, Lydia, but hasn't paid too high of a price, and she'll still be coming in from the fairway. A breeze to speak of for the former world number one. Compressed that one nicely, but it's pulled a touch. Oh, good shot. It's just such a difference, the consistency in which she can strike that golf ball. She have a very good opportunity from there. Now Shin-Sil a lot closer. She'd love a similar shot. Lydia's ball would be a good spot to try and pitch this one. As long as she pinches this nice, she'll get a good amount of spin as well. Just a little deep. You see that every now and then from Shin-Sil. The odd loose wedge shot. I think this is a scoring opportunity. Suddenly you turn it into, right, I have the 2-putt for par. Speaking of which, your championship leader for a birdie on 17. Oh, it did everything but go in. not have surprised us one bit if that one dropped for Dion. Right, just gotta be careful of the last third of this putt. If your bang shin sill just teeters towards the penalty area. She's now a five-time winner on the KLPGA Tour. Not bad considering the fact she only turned pro about 2.5 years ago. To her old teammate on Team Korea, Hong Yo-min, who's had a struggle today. But that's a very handy birdie coming at the par 5 15 for her first of the day. And just creeps her back to 4 over the card. Now Lydia. Yeah, very tidy. Good birdie. Balances her account for the championship back to even par. Back inside the top 15. Back to 15. And Ko Ji-won, like Hwang Yoo-min. She's had her struggles. Love a birdie here. And she'll get one. Good there for Ko. 17th on the money list coming into this week. 20th on the points list. Back to the 18th hole and the second shot of Park Hye-jun. Should take that slope a little and start to feed right. Okay, good solid shot. It's been a very nice day for Park. Yeah, got to keep your focus over these putts. So remains 1 over. One time at 3 under, tumbled all the way back down to 1 and faces a tricky little up and down here. Got to play out a little long. And she'll have the putt that faced Park Min-ji earlier on. And these ladies started their opening round 6 hours and 10 minutes ago. Final group of the day have made their way up to the tee box at the first of the 2 par 3s in the back 9. I have to say it's been a uncomfortably warm summertime season in South Korea. Temperatures recorded almost 2 degrees warmer on average than the hottest it's been in South Korea since records were kept. Back to the 70s, so fair play to the maintenance crews of not only Bears Best here in Cheongna, but all the 524 courses around the country. And they've had their hands full over the last couple of months to keep these courses in as pristine shape as they can. Now Min-ji going for it in 2 at the 15th. One place he can't be is left. There's a penalty area there. That's perfect. That's going to go scuttling onto the green. Wonderful shot from Min-ji Lee at the par 5. Lee Dong-eun perhaps taking relief from a sprinkler head or an imperfection on the ground, perhaps. And if Min-ji can reach this green in 2, you'd think that it's well within range for the longest hitter, statistically speaking, on the KLPGA Tour. These are the opportunities that Dong-eun's got to take. 17 not reachable for any player in the field. So you find the fairway on 15. You're thinking 4. So actually only needs a hybrid to get there. You don't need to land this all the way onto the green. We've seen the ball be pitching pretty firm on the putting surfaces in this opening round. Even if you come up a little short, not a hard up and down. Just by virtue of this being a hybrid club, she'll be able to get a good amount of elevation on this. 226 to the hole, so probably looking to fly this in the 210 range. I think this is the right club for it. Sounded a little thin, but absolutely nothing wrong with that leave. Now Shin Dae-in from the back edge of 18. Got to be wary. Last 10-12 feet of this putt comes straight down a ridge. That needs to settle. That needs to hit the flag. Ooh, that's a good break for Shin Dae-in because that was absolutely motoring. I think she knew it too. Well, round in 70 for Shin. Matches the efforts of Jun Yu-ri. Now Lydia on 14. Sounded like a pretty good strike. And ooh, just stays on the left fringe. Still see there is a little breeze out there. There's good enough room out to the right hand side. So we land this sort of front right edge of the green. You should expect a little kick. Sounded like it hit the putting surface. Oh, yeah, you bet it did. Great shot for Bang Shin-sil. Jun looks hard from right to left, coming downhill for birdie. Oh, a beautiful way to end for Park Hye-jun. That's a 69 for her. That's a barrage of birdies towards the end of her round. No wonder she's smiling. Nice day's work for Park. From one part to another, this is Hyun Kyung on 15. A flatter ball fight. She's got to land this just in the upslope, a couple paces short of the pin, have it skip up and grab. Yeah, nicely played. Bo Kyum for her par. You know, this putt moves pretty aggressively to the left. Oh, but that's really well read and nicely holed. It was a little shaky after those 3 birdies, but she'll end her day in red figures. Good scoring from all 3 players in this group. 71 for Bo Kyum, 70 for Dae-in, and 69 for Park Hye-jun. That leaves her alongside Lee Dae-yeon in a share of the lead. After that slightly strange second shot, Dong-eun set to play her third on 15, and from 40 meters you're not going to get too much spin, so I expect this one to be coming in a little lower. Try and play a similar shot to the one that Park Hyun Kyung just played. Just a little skipper up the slope. Just carried that a little far. Now it's going to work away from her. Just have to be so precise from that position. Unfortunately, she wasn't. green. It'll just come around a little bit. Well acquainted with this 18th hole at Bears Best. Hold a 40-footer to beat Minjee Lee in that playoff 2 years ago. She'll have that putt coming up for a 68. Too tight at the top. Park Hye-jin, after a 69, die on with a birdie opportunity to come on the closing hole. It's day one of action here at the Hana Financial Group Championship, staged once more at the Jack Nicklaus designed Bears Best Cheongna. It looks like it will probably be Lee Dong-eun putting for her birdie, before Minjee Lee has a putt for eagle at this par 5 15th. For Dong-eun, she's just putting from a little section of the green that is quite low, so you work up a fairly steep slope, and once it gets to the top of that crest, it will start to move pretty hard to her right. So it's not an easy putt by any stretch of the imagination. You don't hit it with enough conviction, you lose it right early, the ball never recovers. You get too focused on trying to hit it with enough pace to get up the slope. It's got too much speed and never takes the break. Oh, read it really well and almost found an unlikely 4. That's a really good putt. Now Lydia Ko, flagstick out on 14. Intentions are clear. Fancies her chances from just off the left edge of the green. To the last, and Chi Han Sol for closing birdie, 4-time KLPGA Tour winner. A top 10 12 months ago in this championship. But will start the 2025 campaign with a 73. Shinsel after that stonking tee shot. How has that finished behind the cup? Goodness me. It's a solid effort, but that's just golf for you sometimes. You do everything right, and that silly little ball still doesn't drop. Two excellent shots have given Minjee Lee an opportunity to leapfrog into red figures. Did not hit that with enough conviction whatsoever. That is a deflating effort. Lydia for par. Yeah, I don't see her make too many mistakes from that range. Stays even. for a 68 tie on the 18th. Just start to get her round back under control a little bit. Park Hyun Kyung. Stay up, stay up. Oof. Sense that when that came off the putter face, she perhaps knew it wasn't quite hit with enough conviction. Die on to match. Park Hye-jun's 69. Well, we haven't had a single player in this championship's short history that has won multiple Hana Financial Group crowns. Dion, the 2023 champion, shares the lead at the end of her opening round of 69. It's the opening round of day one here at the Hana Financial Group Championship, where we have a two-way tie for the lead between Park Hye-jun and Lee Daeon with matching 69. So with the likes of Lydia Ko and Min-ji Lee still on the golf course, that first page of the leaderboard still could change before the day is out. It's been a tough return to the site of her historic victory last year. Mada Som, the defending champion, 5 over par for her opening round. Number cut will be made come the end of play tomorrow evening. Low 65 and ties making it through to the weekend stages of the 7th Hana Financial Group Championship. Just off the front edge of the green. Almost an eagle 3 for the two-time Star Championship winner. Lady who leads the KLPGA Tour's points list coming into this week. Now Lydia, I don't think she's got the firepower to take it all the way to the green, but she can certainly leave herself a nice number for one of her wedges. It's got to carry that creek that's about 180 yards in front of her. That's not going to be a bother for a player of Lydia Ko's quality. Bang Shin Sil doesn't really know the meaning of the word layup. Last week's winner. Looks like she's going to have a crack at this green in 2. There's still action up ahead. Here it is, EA1 with a birdie putt. Try and get herself back to even par. Just going to fall off low. Such a hard putt from past the pin there at the par 5. Yeah, Kim Min Sol has reached the 18th hole. She's at 3 over par, but only has 120 meters left for her second. Unlucky, took a very firm first kick. Will still have a reasonable look at birdie. Drop back to the par 3 16th tee to catch up with Min-ji Lee, who did knock in her 5-footer for birdie at the 15th to take her tally back to even. Dangerous when the hole's cut on the left-hand side of the green. Trouble there, and that was either not well struck or a club too short. Should have stayed up though for Min-ji. It's a steep bank, but it's some pretty thick rough as Yu Hyun-ju looks to clean up for her birdie after that very nicely played pitch shot. Simple as you like for Yu Hyun-ju. Kim maybe a little frustrated to have walked off the 15th green with a birdie. How brave does she want to be into this pin on 16? It looks like it's on a fairly aggressive line, and that's nicely played from Park Hyun-kyung. So, green is clear up ahead. Shinsil looking to attack into at the par 5. Oh no. The one place she couldn't miss it in the penalty area, left of the green. Well, you don't blame her for going for it in 2. Just a poor swing is going to be costly for Shinsil. Idongen doesn't need to be as bold as Hyun Kyung was off the tee. She's got plenty of club. I expect this one to be aimed out a good 20 feet right of the target. Really well played pitch shot. Back of the green there. Really is the spot to miss on 18. Just go a little long. As long as you're not in that bunker, it's not a difficult shot. Back to the defending champ on 15 in desperate need of a birdie or 2. Comes up over the crest, and that'll give Madasom a reasonable look. That was a couple of moments ago. Now live with Lydia. How does she want to play this one? A little low with hop, skip, and a bit of check, or try and flight one in high, have it come down nice and soft? Looks like it's option B. Oof, almost hooped it. Salt to end her day with a 3. Goes right there, then it tries to sling back left, but not at that pace. Squirrely off the tee, but ample green to work with for Minji on 16. Doesn't need to play the high hero shot. She's done the right thing. Played a little low runner, and she's played it very nicely. So in the water with her second shot, Shinsil has dropped and will now be playing 4 to the par 5 15th. Doesn't need to overcomplicate this situation. Coming from the rough, not going to get too much check on this, so trying to land this short of the upslope and have it trickle on up. I just carried it too far. And that is going to take that second slope and just weasel its way into that low point on the right-hand side of the green. So problems for last week's winner. Conservative off the tee, but also just pushed it a little. So Lee Dong-eun with a very lengthy putt from the back fringe at the par 3. Yeah, Kim Min-joo got into the winner's circle for the first time earlier this season. It's a 2-over thus far on Thursday, and oof, I think that's just stayed out of the sand, and that's a good break if that is indeed the case for Min-joo. Hyun Kyung, after that stellar tee shot at the 16th, can she convert? She can this time. Very good too at the par 3. Takes Park Hyun Kyung back to it's 2 over par. Now Bae So Hyun, 4-time winner on tour, picked up 3 of them last season. That's not going to do much to improve her mood this opening round. Lee Dong-eun, testy little one for par. No straight pull there. You could see it off the putter face. And that's just what happens. You take your eye off the ball for a minute at Bae's best. All of a sudden you find yourself making bogey. Back to Shinsil, who's got this for par, a hole behind at 15. Oh, almost got away with it. Clumsy 6 on 15. Second par 5, she's bogeyed today, Shinsil. Drops her back to +2. Alright, Min-joo. Looks like she's out of the bunker, so that's a good break. The lie's okay. She's on a slight upslope. She can play this with some speed, pop it up high. Just like that. Clubhouse could not come fast enough for these ladies who began their day at 10 o'clock local time, just coming up to that 6-hour 10-minute mark to complete play on day 1. Back to Da-som, who desperately needs something to start going her way, just to take it back to 4 over for the defending champ. It's just been that kind of afternoon for Ma Da-som. Bae was buried in the front bunker, and she has made a very good fist of things to even give herself a putt of about 12 feet for her par. Now Lydia scared the hole with that third. Just a fraction high. It's a tough read from there. Seen a number of players miss that putt high and a couple more low. can't quite capitalize. Lydia. Still 3 holes left to try and make an impression on the first page of our leaderboard. I always felt the 17th hole was... It could be a little bit more interesting if it was reachable, but pretty much everyone in this 140 lady field is going to have to lay up. No one's getting home in 2 at 524 meters. Little trouble left of this fairway, but it takes an awful shot to find that penalty area. Ample room out right. It's the second shot that really sets you up on this hole. Try and give yourself a good number to attack the pin. This green has a fair amount of slope in it, it has to be said. Bae So-hyun, those 3 victories last year all came in playoffs that took exactly 3 holes each. She's going to need something special Friday morning if she wants to be around to contest a potential 5th career win. Disappointing 76 leaves her a share of 64th on day 1. This one might be hit a little harder than usual for Lee Dong-eun after that bogey. Gave that one the full treatment. It's got plenty of hang time. That is well down the fairway at 17. Final group of the day make their way up onto the 16th tee, and you can see the par 3 before them. Lots of trouble on the left-hand side of this kidney-shaped green. So you see a lot of players putting out from where EA1 is. That middle segment. Gentle right to left breaker. Another player that's lucky, that one hit the flagstick. Rookie of the year in her first season, player of the year in each of her last 2. It's been something special over the last couple of years, EA1. To Hyun Kyung just trying to lay it up to a nice number at this par 5. Got to the 18th hole and the Ko sisters both having a bit of a poor afternoon at the office. This is GU. 3 wins on tour and can't get that one to skip up onto the green. Minji just looking out right. Any place you don't want to be in those nest of fairway bunkers on the left-hand side. This one's starting well right, but peeling back nicely. Became only the 10th player in history to cross the 1 billion Korean won single season earnings mark last week. Ro Seong-hui tops the money list so far in 2025, but like I mentioned earlier, still a lot of big championships to come in the year. Smack in the middle of the donation circle on 17 is where we find Lee Dong-eun. Leading like that, maybe drifting off a fraction right, but still finds this huge fairway. Hwang Yo-min on the 18th, playing alongside the Ko sisters, but similarly struggles for Yo-min, who's at 4 over. Just ventures a little deep, but as we've noted in the past, that's an okay spot to be. So we go back to Yoo Hyun-jo for birdie on 16. That one needs to take a chair. Easy, easy. Okay, little meat left on that bone for you. Both her victories, major championships. She's enjoyed a stellar year on tour, 14 top 10 finishes. And only one miscut, that was at the Hankyung Ladies Cup about a month ago. 3 times a runner-up as well in 2025 for last season's Rookie of the Year. Certainly hope this isn't plugged for Ko at the 18th. Looking well out to the left. Really no option but to play out long. So penultimate group have cleared the green on 16. You can clearly see the play here. 20 feet right, maybe a little long. No harm done. Don't need to bring that water into the equation. Not on Thursday. That's hitting left. Oh dear. I think that's in the penalty area. It's not in the water. She had plenty of club to cover it. Oh no, there's a flag that went down. Looks to be just over the back of the green, but in some pretty thick rough for Lydia. Yun Kyung for her third shot still has a hybrid in hand. Uphill into the wind. Pins cut on that right-hand side. And I think that just stayed out of the bunker for Park. That pulled shot on 15 cost Shinsil a shot. Don't want to do it again here on 16. Yep, safely aboard. Further up the course, we find Lee Dong-eun, who's set to play her third. Oh, and that was at least a full club short. And that's going to be a problem. Very well be plugged in the upslope. She'll do little to please her. We know she can run a little hot under that collar. Lee Dong-eun, fiery character. In between clubs here, Minjee Lee. From what we've seen from her two playing partners, maybe going with the longer one, not such a bad idea. So play up to this raised green at the par 5. So 3 very poor shots from this group at the 17th. So just a couple holes left to play in our opening round coverage of the Hana Financial Group Championship, and it's Park Hye-jin who shares the lead with 2023 champion Lee Dae-yeon after matching 69s. Well off the target was the highly rated Lydia Ko at 16. Played this, get a lot of load into that left side so she can get as low as she can. Slide the club head under the ball, and look at this touch of magic from Lydia, almost producing a brilliant birdie. But that is what Lydia Ko is all about, the ability to hit spectacular shots from around the greens. Great technique, great execution, almost a great 2. It doesn't have to be quite as flashy from over the back of 18. Hwang Yoo-min could just play a little chop and run, funnel it down the slope, but she's gone for the big flopperoo as well. I just don't think that was the shot. The lie didn't look particularly poor. It just felt like a very unnecessary shot to play. That's just something that Yoo-min will learn as she makes her way in the game of professional golf. Back to Bang on 16. We saw Yeowon putt from a similar spot. It got a little racy. See if Shinsil can just keep her speed under control. That looks like much better pace, and it'll be a simple 2-putt par. Back to 18 and the struggling Go sisters. Little sis is having a much better day, but still 2 over the card with this for birdie. Gave it a brilliant try. Let's hope this isn't plug for Lee Dong-eun at 17. I think it might have been, but tell you what, you got some good elevation on that. Very good shot from Lee. Under pressure to try and save par again. After coming out of the bunker, that's going to be low surely. Yep, just rips away. And that is a frightful start to the championship for the 3-time winner, the elder of the Go sisters. It's going to be a 78. For Minji is that ball's come out of its own pitch mark. It's sitting okay. So let's watch the technique here. Being in the upslope is going to help. Slips that club under the ball so nicely. Gets it to release on. Fantastic touch from the Aussie. Anything to speed up play at this point. Get your own flagstick, tap it in. And let's move on. 1 hole left to go. Hwang Yoo-min, best finish this year. Runner-up at the Doosan match play. Lost in the finals to EA1. Did come 3rd at the Korea Women's Open. But much like Go Ji-Yu, it's going to be a struggle to start the week in Cheongna. That's a 77 for the 2-time tour winner. Now the simplest, you have to say, of the up and downs is what faces Park Hyun-kyung, who's just off the edge of the green in the tufty rough. A little bold with that one. But she's a good putter. Perennially ranks inside the top 10 each season on the KLPGA Tour's putting statistics. It's been a solid start to the championship for Lydia Ko. Missed the cut last year in this event. Jin Young. Been a poor day for her as well, as she's just finishing up her round on the front side of the golf course. And that'll make dinner taste a little bit better for Jin Young. Nice birdie to close, her only birdie in a round of 77. Back to 18 and second shot of the 22-year-old Kim Min-sun 7. Yeah, all systems go for Bang Shin-sil on the 17th tee. Currently finds herself 2 over par with 2 to play. Donglin's par putt just going to slide low at 17. It was such a solid round that she had building, and then just a clumsy 3-putt at the par 3, and a poor bogey from the middle of the fairway on 17. Going to leave her scratching her head a little as she heads to the 18th tee. To the green on 18 we go, and Kim Min-sun bunkered. Going to come over the steepest portion of the ridge, everything kicking away from her once this ball lands on the green. And she's done well. She has done very well from that spot. To Hyun Kyung for a par on 17. Should just be an outside left edge putt for Park. Okay, slides that in the side door. That's a good up and down. Just preserves the momentum she's worked hard to build over the last couple of holes. And it's going to be layups all around for the final 3-ball of the day. Lydia going with a 3-wood. I imagine it'll be a similar choice of club for Bang Shin Sil. See that layup area does pinch in a little bit. For Shin Sil, I think she can get it into the wider area of the fairway up ahead. Gotta find the fairway on 18. It slopes a little from left to right. That's gonna cause some problems. And that second shot will certainly limit her options. Ideally, want to hit just some sort of little low cut at the left edge of the fairway. If it try to kick on the slope, get a little extra run on it. Ideally placed now for Lee. Of the green, Yu Hyun Jo to try and take herself into red figures at the 17th. Hasn't hit it hard enough. Has not scared the hole. Dongman. Probably fly that little side slope that Minji pitched it into. But you've got to keep this ball out of that left rough. Oh, yeah, looks like it just crept into the first cut on the right side. Might all depend on the lie. See what options she has from there. Lydia cannot make the mistake of coming up short into this green. Yep. Clever shot. But she'll have a birdie putt to come. She should only have a short iron here, Bang Shin Sil. Still not the time to be greedy. Here on the side of caution. Little long, little left. Just make sure you're on that correct plateau. And you'll still have a decent crack at birdie. Catches the slope, spins it down to that middle segment of the green. Back to 9, and looking to putt this one from just off the back is Song Una. Another birdie from off the green at the 9th, and that'll be a heartening way to finish for Song. He's currently outside the top 60 on the money list. Needs a good week here. She's got to be thinking about where she wants to leave this for her third. You don't want to be in that bunker short. Long's okay. Be a bit of a tricky one. Got that knoll to deal with, especially coming out of the rough. Skipped into the secondary cut for Idaman. She's going to have to get this one vertical quite quickly. She wants to hold this green. Is another mistake she can afford to make. For Minji though, find the fairway. Only got a short iron in hand. Can be aggressive. There are little slopes around the hole to the left and a little long. Can sort of feed the ball back into this pin position. Pulling into the breeze is going to help bring this one down softer. Yeah, it's a really nice shot there from Minji. Classy. It's going to be an awfully slow putt for Shinsil from the middle segment of this 3-tiered green. As it makes its way up onto that back shelf, it should be working from left to right as well. Excellent speed control from Shinsil. Actually, no, she's still not out of this championship. 5 shots back at this stage. Still 3 rounds to come. Who's to say that she's not going to be challenging for a 4th win of the season come Sunday afternoon? Good look from behind the hole at what Lydia faces for her birdie. Gently downhill, so doesn't have to worry about getting this ball to the hole. Just picking that right line. Looks like it wants to go left early, but then certainly at the hole it should start to move back towards the right. Just the par then for Ko. Looks like it's going to be Park Hye-jun and Lee Dae-yeon who will take the lead into day 2 here at Bears Best. But the likes of Ko and Minji Lee still with a couple of holes to play to try and get themselves into red figures here on day 1 at Bears Best. This one's going to come out a little knuckling for Hyun Kyung, so she's going to have to land it short of the upslope. It's always going to be a little tricky from that spot. To the 9th and the 3rd shot of Lee Seong-yeon, who's having a good day. 1 under the card. We've seen it our fair share of birdies on this 9th hole over the last half an hour. Could very well see another. Dong'an, that bunker has seen a lot of action this opening round. That was probably one of the best shots we've seen from the sand, so Dong'an a chance to end a bit of a frustrating closing passage of play with a par. Looks like Lydia has already picked it up back on the tee box. Group of Yewon and Seong-hui ahead, maybe just out of her range, so Lyd's electing to have a go. Ahead on the green, ENG Lee, who's really battled nicely on this back 9, made the turn at 1 over par. There's a chance to end her day in red figures. This for birdie. Down the hill, raking to the left. She hit that with enough speed. No, there's your answer. Still don't think you're going to be too disappointed with a level past 72 in trying conditions this Thursday. Shin Sil going to have a swipe at this as well. Stuck the follow through, so you know she likes it. And why wouldn't you? Oh, just into that right rough. hate to end her day with a bogey after battling back so nicely with the second half of the back nine. Oh, that's cruel and unusual punishment for Park Hyun-kyung, who will end her day on a bit of a sour note with a bogey and a 75. Lee Dong-eun, not one to be rushed, is the 21-year-old. Just par putt for a 74. Again, was cruising along at even par for most of the round before drop shots in 16 and 17. Just a hair outside the right lip, I have to say. It's the second pull she's hit in this back nine, and she and Park Hyun-kyung are going to match each other round in 75. 3 straight bogeys to end what was otherwise a pretty steady day. Again, that just shows you the difference in quality of play from Hyun-kyung and Dong-eun. Min-ji Lee admittedly didn't have her best stuff in this opening round, but she's gutted out a fine even par effort of 72 to begin her quest for the Hana Financial Group Championship, a title she has so very nearly won on 2 different occasions. Could she get to 2 under at 9? Lee Seung-yeon. If she can read the line right, that was nowhere near it for the one-time winner on tour. That came all the way back in 2018. Towards the end of the 2018 season at the Sukyung Networks Ladies Classic. Hwang Min-jeong has had a decent day as well, playing in the company of Lee Seung-yeon. Hopefully she'll give this birdie putt a slightly better effort. You know, it wants to go a little to the right as it makes its way up that gentle rise. It's a bit of a double breaker, so it's a tricky read for the players if you're a little bit long and right of the pin at this par 5. Gave it a better effort, but similar result. No birdie to be found on 9 for Hwang. So 71 for Lee Seung-yeon. Good tidy round of golf from her. Inside the top 5 going into Friday action. It's been a wait for the players. Can safely say that this Thursday, and they'll have the privilege of doing it all over again tomorrow afternoon. And when you're having a struggle like defending champion Dasom is having, it's just a bit of a frustrating afternoon on what is otherwise an excellent and enjoyable test of golf. Giving this putt an awful lot of attention. I mean, what's that? All of a foot and a half for Hong Min Jong. Okay, 71, like her playing partner, could very well have each other for company again tomorrow afternoon after we do the redraw according to score. All likelihood it'll be Park Ye-jun, Lee Dae-yeon and Jun Yu-ri in the final group Friday. So mercifully, target up ahead clear. Dasom set to play her second into the last. And her day just gets a little longer. Withdrew from last week's OK Savings Bank OK Man Open. Hasn't had a top 10 since the Lotte Open, which was staged at this very golf course at the beginning of July. Now Lydia, ample room out long, doesn't need to take on this pin. There's a bit of help in the air, so she's got an 8-iron from 145. Oof. Needed a yard or two more. Might have just hung in the rough outside of the bunker for Lydia, which would be a good break. Yeah, Shinsil far enough back from that tree where she should be able to get over it with not too much difficulty. She's got wedge. She's got the longest of the bunker shots. I was nowhere near it. First burst onto our screens as a teenager, Lydia Ko. Bang Shin-sil has impressed us ever since we first caught sight of her receiving invitations to play in the Korea Women's Open as an amateur. He's gone on to win 5 times since, and Som, who came off a watershed year last season, has been unable to replicate similar form in 2025. So, long bunker shot remaining for Shinsil. You need good acceleration and commitment here. There's a lot of sand to cover, not much green to work with. Play out a little left, try and use the slope. Don't need to take a direct line at this pin. Ooh, just got it out of the bunker. Perhaps a bit unlucky landing on that downslope. All she could do from that position. Looks like Lydia has stayed out of the bunker on 18. And it's one of those shots where she can produce a bit of magic. The line looks heavy, but the leading edge of that lob wedge should cut through the fescue rough pretty easily. It's all about picking a landing spot and just having it tumble out from there. Got too much ball there. You can see it shot off the club face, very hot. 31 professional titles. Three majors as well under her belt. Now, Tassom buried in the bunker. Looks like she's going to play this with a straight face. Try and dig the hosel of the club in behind the ball, have it pop out soft. And about as good as she could have done from that position. Ever player to win a professional golf tournament back in the 2012 New South Wales Open. Lydia Ko supplanted a certain Ryo Ishikawa, won on the Japanese tour at the age of 15 years of age. Ko's record was then broken by Canada's Brooke Henderson just a couple of months later. Now Shinsil for par. Doesn't come back from all the way out there. Another player sort of stumbling to a 75 on a tricky opening round at Bears Bess. Just the one birdie on her day, coming back at the 8th. Tassom has already missed 5 cuts this year. In grave danger of missing the weekend. Her title defense here at the Hana Financial Group Championship. inexplicably, last year's winner, starts off her week with a 79. And hopefully the final shot of the day for our coverage and for Lydia Ko, who has this for par at the 18th. Oh, classy stuff from Ko. Round an even par 72. Lydia. There's a very good chance she could be paired together with Minji Lee for the second round here at the Hana Financial Group Championship. And goodness me, won't there be some crowds out there watching that 3-ball as we look back on the best from Thursday here at Bears Best. Start off with Park Ji-young, 10-time winner on tour. Beautiful approach in there. Still yet to win this season. If she continues to hit shots like that, who's to say it's not going to come this week at the Hana Financial Group Championship. Ji-young round in level par 72. Lydia Ko started her day poorly with a couple of drop shots on 2 and 3, but will bounce back nicely with that birdie on the 4th. But it was Lee Daeon who certainly set the course alight. Ho-hum 36 to the turn, signal her intention with a birdie there at the 10th, taking her the right side of par. Playing in the group in front of her was Shin Dae-in, who started her day with 12 straight pars before making this one on the 13th. And then on the 14th, Park Bo-kyum, who had just birdied 11 and 13, came inches away from a hole-in-one at 14. She would go on to pop that putt in for birdie, taking her to 3 under, but a couple of bogeys left her with a 71. Not so much the case for Daeon, who was back to her dazzling best with this wedge shot at the par 4 13th. Almost spun it back in for an eagle too, but she'd happily take the birdie 3. Par 5 15 certainly yielded its fair share of birdies today. Shin Dae-in completing one of only 2 bogey-free rounds of golf. That her second birdie and her last in an opening round of 70. Park Bo-kyum, I mentioned those struggles. That was a bogey from only 70 yards away on the 15th. The same hole, a couple of moments later, Lee Daeon would bag a 4th birdie of her round. It would ultimately all tot up to a round of 69 for the 2023 winner here at Bears Best. And then late to the party was Park Hye-jun. Beg your pardon, that was Park Bo-kyum, who unfortunately had work to do for bogey. Thankfully would hold it. This is Park Hye-jun. After a stunning tee shot, she just birdied the 15th. Made it another there on 16. And while all that was happening, a certain Lydia Ko was starting to get her round back under control. 1 over par to the turn, and a nice birdie there for Lids. Took her back to even for the championship. At the home hole, it was a very nice way to finish off a good day's work for Park Hye-jun, who joins Shin Dae-in as the only other player to have carded a bogey-free opening round effort. closing birdie, she would match Lee Dion's round of 69. So that's the way things shape up as we leave Bears Best on Thursday evening. It's Hyejun and Dion who lead the way at 3 under, with Shin Dae-in and Junyu Ri trailing by a shot. Looking forward to more great golf from the Hana Financial Group Championship tomorrow afternoon. Certainly hope you can join us then. Bye-bye for now.